Take two. Tyler with Tyler for the Tyler and Pablo car ride along. Unfortunately, the first time around, the mics died, so we're gonna actually restart here. I'm with Tyler Bonds. He is a local here to Phoenix, and we are in his McLaren GT. Want to talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So this is the 2020. It's my first exotic, but I've always loved cars. My first car was a 1978 Pontiac Firebird. Had the Trans Am conversion. It looked just like the movie Smokey and the Bandit. So I've always loved cars, but this is the first time in an actual exotic, and I've been super happy with the McLaren experience so far.
We've ridden obviously in quite a few cars, and this is the first McLaren and actually first supercar that when I sat into it, I thought, you know, this could truly be a daily. The creature comforts, it's beautiful, but it's still calm and tame when we're in the just normal driving mode.
It is like you can wake it up in sport mode or track, but just in the normal, it's very quiet and just smooth shifting. And, you know, a lot of people, I think they view the GT as like not full on exotic, but to me, it felt exactly like what I was wanting to experience when I got in it, being the first one. You know, and you can, the things you can do to these cars are pretty incredible.
Yeah. He's got the bright green wrap on the outside, and you were telling me before that's going hand in hand with your brand, which is a roofing and construction company. You've got that, and then on top of that, you've also got a training.
Absolutely. So, you know, it's always been construction for me as early as I can remember. And I remember when I had to make that choice between white collar and blue collar. I was a insurance salesman part-time and then in construction, and I had to make that choice, and everybody told me, you're a salesperson, you need to go white collar, you're supposed to be working with people and selling. I made the opposite decision. I said I'm going with construction, but little did I know that construction was the same game, a people game, a sales game, and I was able to take those skills and apply that to the blue collar side.
And that's what's so impressive. You know, I see all of Tyler's stuff on Instagram. He's got really, really good training videos. And it's interesting because obviously being in real estate, you know, it's a people game.
It is.
But I see so many things that relate between the two of us and the things we do in our business, because at the end of the day, we're providing a service or a product that is being consumed by somebody. It's business to consumer, and you're really teaching that in an amazing way.
Same skills, different product. I say all the time, I learned more about construction and the insurance business on how to deal with people. Like, I would compare that to, you know, now we buy companies, construction companies specifically, and I learned more about that in commercial real estate. You know, learning the concepts of commercial real estate and then applying them to the blue collar business side. So those things go hand in hand.
Can you talk a little bit about your story? I've heard it in the past. What really made you do it? Because your family was in business, correct?
Yes, third generation contractor, and you know, slowly evolving to how do I do these bigger projects, or how do I, you know, the real mission of what we're doing is how do we bring respect back to the trades and show people that wealth can be built in the blue collar way through the trades. So going through, you know, starting on small projects to learning where is the money at? Where are the big projects? Who has those? How do I access them? And how do I be articulate and communicate in a way that I am the one landing those bigger projects? So we've been in pretty much every trade, but specifically a lot of outdoor living, pool, swimming pool, hardscape, landscape, and now we're on roofing.
Amazing. And so one thing that it's noticed based off of looks, you're obviously a little bit younger, where, you know, traditionally the owner of a contracting construction company is a little bit older. Do you find it's hard to get respect, or is there ways to overcome that?
It was for a long time.
Yep.
I mean, I moved out the day before I graduated high school, and I went straight into this, and that was the battle for at least 5 years. And there's a point where your track record that flips and it doesn't matter. And it's really encouraging now because, as you know, we work with about 200 contractors over the world, but mainly the US. And a lot of these guys are young, and we're seeing more of that. We still need even more because of the average age, like you were saying.
Yep.
But there's a lot of young guys out there hustling and really killing the game.
Do you see a transition now for the younger generation that's understanding, hey, there's money in this, and there's a level of respect that comes with, you know, building beautiful buildings like this? We see so much development here in Arizona, and to be on the forefront of that, are you seeing younger guys start to understand it?
Definitely, and we don't have a choice as a society because of the amount of older people who are exiting the game. and the fewer amount of younger people still coming up, we don't have a choice. Like,
Yep.
the demand is going to be there, the pricing is only going to go up, and this is going to we need to reframe the industry and the way contractors are viewed, because it's going to be a necessity going forward in the future over the next several decades.
And that's actually something I didn't think about is the fact that a lot of these guys who are older are now leaving the industry.
Yes.
Do you see that as an opportunity for younger people to maybe make more profit off of jobs? Because supply and demand, simple.
Definitely opportunity there.
Yep.
And even more opportunity on the business acquisition side, because what a lot of these people are getting into is, roughly 1 in 11 or 1 in 12 businesses that are for sell over a calendar year. And if you compare that to real estate, if we had 12 houses on the same street and we came back a year later and only one had sold, that would be unheard of, right?
Exactly.
But that's the world we're in. So when you're ready to retire and you don't have a good exit strategy, what happens? So that creates more opportunity for these young people to come in and acquire these businesses and keep that legacy going.
Yeah, that's super interesting. And a little bit about my background. So my dad actually, he owned a construction company, and he ended up liquidating it. He didn't actually sell it. So that could have been an opportunity potentially for somebody to come in and acquire that at the time of his retirement.
I watched the same thing happen with my grandfather when I was in high school. Is he essentially sold his business for the tools and equipment costs.
Yep.
And, knowing what I know now, I see 7 figures of equity left on the table that he probably didn't know was possible at the time. So we're trying to make people think about business, and specifically construction businesses, the same way they view real estate, as an asset and income that you can acquire, just like a commercial property.
How does that relate to real estate, and what factor does real estate have in your wealth building journey?
Yeah. Well, real estate's a huge part of just construction in general.
Yep.
So I'll compare it to roofing first. We work with realtors every day. And in pretty much any trade, you're going to do that. If you figure out how to capitalize and work together and realize there's no competition, it's only collaboration at the top.
Yep.
And we can work together on that, right? When we're putting a roof on for someone who may want to sell their house, we're going to send them to you. When you're either selling or buying a house, you send them to us for the roof. That's mutually beneficial, and then again, back to the actual enterprise value side of things, we need people to think about construction businesses like they think about real estate. It's an asset, especially more on the commercial real estate side of acquiring that income for a price.
That's really interesting, and I like that note you put in there about it's not a competition at the top, it's a collaboration, because that's the number one thing we've heard from everybody we talk to who's extremely successful is they got their success by working with others, and it becomes so much more fruitful, especially with that trust built.
Yes.
So obviously success has come throughout many facets, whether it be the collaboration between other successful individuals, or growing, buying companies. What's one piece of advice you'd give to somebody younger or who's maybe feels like they're stuck with the company they have?
Yeah, so a few things. Number one, your business isn't broken. Whether if you're in real estate or construction or any of the other thousands of things you can be a part of, it's not your business that's broken, it's you, and it's you that we have to fix in your mindset. Once we've done that, we have something to work with, and we can start making changes to the business. I would say the next point is it's 10% what happens and 90% what you do with it, and we're not a victim of circumstance. The hardship that we've went through, the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars I've lost in various ways, and the things I've went through, it's just showing up the next day after that and not quitting ever, and keeping coming back and keeping getting better, because in this game, and all of this game, real estate, construction, business in general, we can get better every day until the end of time and still have room to get better. So you just cannot stop. It's not a game that is won like a board game. Winning is never stopping. If you're still in the game, you're winning and you keep going.
So that actually brings up another question. What's your favorite failure? The best loss you ever had? Because as you know, to succeed, you have to fail.
I can think of a lot of different projects that I lost, 10, 21, I lost $40,000 on. All of those have a lesson. All of those have something that you change and do differently. I can think of another situation where I lost $150,000 on this one specific deal. And that stuck with me so much to make changes in the way that we do business, the way we protect ourselves, the way we think about things, and dot our I's and cross our T's. And it just makes you, I guess I could call it hurry up to slow down.
Yep.
Because you have to be very precise, but you have to make calculated decisions. And the better you can articulate a situation and make those calculated decisions fast, that speaks like you have clarity to me, and that you have knowledge if you're able to make those decisions fast.
Amazing. And then for somebody who's, you know, getting into it, and when you start, there's a lot more failures in the beginning. What's the biggest mindset thing? I know you're on your fitness journey right now, going in, working on mind, body, and then that all translates to business. Is there anything else that you do so you really push through it and stay resilient through the tough times?
Yeah, you know, motivation is fleeting, so it's going to come down to discipline at the end of the day and having a routine that you stick to. You have daily achievables, so we're really big on goal setting. And like I said earlier, it's never your business or your situation that's broke. It's always you and a result of what you've been putting in over the last 3, 6, 9, 12 months. So I would say mindset and goal setting, getting your mind right, setting your goals, and then having discipline about those goals.
A lot of the guys who come to the car show, they're young photographers, 18 years old. Maybe they want to turn that into a successful business. What's a piece of advice you'd give to those young guys who are kind of lost right now?
I would say that if you study the big businesses and the people that you might want to be like, they do the little things really well.
Okay.
But you can't bite off too much. You're going to try to fix everything overnight. If you will put your focus on one sector at a time, whether that's marketing, sales, operations, whatever it may be, and you'll put your focus on one thing at a time and realize the bar is very low in business in general. If we do the little things better than anybody else, that's what compounds and builds big companies. There's not a magic secret sauce. It's the little stuff that you do daily and execute at a high level.
Amazing. Well, honestly, I really appreciate it, because Tyler and I, we've chatted a few times, and this is the first time like actually having a chat. What I see on his Instagram is extremely impressive, and I encourage all of you guys to go check it out, because being in the service-based industry, I learn a lot from you, and really appreciate somebody who on all facets does this, and I appreciate you doing this with us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Well, catch us on the next one. Pablo's probably going to be doing an amazing interview, so we'll go from there. Bye-bye.